next month, people with committee members, and they will have a process to go ahead and all the information, and you will know about that. And as a town board member, of course you want to be familiar with the content. But this has nothing to do with content. It has to do with establishing a committee that will be legally, that will meet town law and will be legally able, so that the town of Stamford can legally go ahead with their planning.
I think in terms of the content, Tom, I certainly made the suggestion that we should all read up on that, and I've certainly read it before and I agree with you. However, knowing the content will help us direct the committee once we have it, or make suggestions to them. But if we don't have the legally authorized committee, we can't even do that. So all our reading would be for naught.
But basically, you're saying the other committee wasn't legally authorized.
Right.
So basically, everything they did, we can't use?
We can We can choose to use it. We can choose to use it. What the lawyer was saying, what Mr. Keneally was saying up at the Association of Towns, is that a town is under no obligation to use it because it was not an authorized committee. And this is a very important legal issue, because we will not be able to go ahead with planning in Stamford if we do not have a comprehensive plan committee. That's town law.
If the issue is an authorized committee, we had a master plan committee that was authorized in August 10th of 06. The mission...
It was not authorized by the town board.
It was authorized in August 10th of 2006.
That was a committee that that our previous supervisor dissolved.
No, can I just finish, please? If the issue is an authorized committee, we have a master plan committee that was formed in August 10th of 2006, of which you were on.
Okay.
The mission is exactly the same as the mission of the Comprehensive Plan Committee as documented in your resolution. And I could find nothing in any of the minutes indicating that the Master Plan Committee was dissolved.
The Master Plan Committee was not an authorized committee either.
You were on it.
I was on it. That's right. I was on it.
And it was an unauthorized committee?
It was unauthorized. I have been saying, this is something I learned when we were on the phone the other day. I have been saying that the Codes Committee was a supervisor's committee. Supervisor's advisory.
We're talking about the Master Plan Committee.
Let me finish, please.
Okay.
The three committees that were created by our previous supervisor, by Dave Teeter, was a Master Plan Committee, a Zoning Committee, and a Housing Committee. None of those committees were voted on by the town board.
I beg to differ.
You can look through the minutes. I have
did.
them all in my office. They were not voted on by the town board.
I did.
The town board never voted on them. They were announced, and they went ahead and met. And we all worked very hard on them, but they were none of them were authorized committees. And the town board never voted on them.
And they were also dissolved by the supervisor after their job was done. Each committee made a report. We had those public meetings, and the work of those committees was over. And then afterwards, the Codes Committee was formed. So those committees were not authorized in the first place, and then they were dissolved after their jobs were done.
There's nothing in the board minutes dissolving the Master Plan Committee, which was formed August 10th of 2006. Now,
Dave simply said, you've made the report, your job is done. And that was the end of it.
Well, if we're talking about an authorized committee, if
it was not
never...
an authorized committee. None of them were. None of them were.
I believe if we go back to the August 10th, 2006 board minutes...
I can't take the time right now to
Well,
go into my office to get the minutes, but I have the minutes from every session of that
The bigger
period of
problem
time.
is we're just getting this today. Something that is this important, really. I mean, we really can't get this the day
This is the establishment
of.
of a committee. It is not
I
shaping the committee.
Well, we're discussing...
The mission plan is no different than any other comprehensive plan committee mission statement, worldwide practically.
I think we have a difference of opinion on whether or not a committee was established. And to get this resolution today and be asked to vote on it today on something, a committee that is going to be set up to determine the direction of the town for the next 30 years. And whatever they do, it's going to irreversibly alter the character and the content of the town. And to authorize a committee such as that today without doing some due diligence, I think is a disservice.
So what you are saying is that you do not want the town to have a
That's not what I said.
comprehensive plan. But
That's not
that's
what I
what you're
said.
saying, because this does not authorize a particular committee of committee members who have an agenda and who have done things. This simply establishes a committee, just as we established the Farm and Agriculture
I
Committee.
believe that a committee is established. If the issue has to do with an authorized committee,
There
if
is
that's
no
the issue,
authorized committee in
in
this
August
town.
10th of 2006,
Was not authorized.
okay, you weren't on the board then, but you were on the committee. I don't know, can you explain how you're on the committee that's not authorized?
Yes, because I didn't know any more than other people knew who worked on those committees.
Okay, all right, well,
And the supervisor said he'd formed these committees, he named people who were on them, and we were all on them, and we all worked very hard. But it was not an authorized committee. You heard Mr. Keneally yourself.
We have a motion.
we were talking about the codes committee, not the master plan committee with Mr. Keneally.
The master plan committee met for several months. Is anybody who was on it here? No, just I was on it. It was never.
Mrs. Haddon was on the codes
It was
committee.
never voted by the town board.
Mrs.
None of
Haddon
the.
was on the codes committee.
Yes, she was.
Okay, if you're asking her to put her 2 cents in, I'd be happy to
I'm not
hear it.
asking her to put her 2 cents in. This isn't privilege of the floor, and I'm not asking anybody to put their 2
I
cents
thought you asked if
in.
anybody was here on the codes committee.
I was just looking around, and I was asking myself a
All right.
question, if nothing else. None of those committees were authorized. It doesn't mean the people on them didn't work hard, didn't care about Stanford, didn't struggle with issues, didn't present a report at the end of our work. But they were not authorized committees. They cannot be accepted as legal committees.
Well,
And the Codes Committee was not a legally formed
I don't
committee.
believe you would subject yourself to an unauthorized committee, really.
Do we have a motion out for Virginia?
All right, we've had a second to the motion. Can we call the question?
Could I just ask one quick question?
Certainly.
It's very simple. Okay, the people on the...
No, it has nothing to do with the people on the committee,
Let me ask
Tom.
a question, just let me ask a question. Now, we see people here, now, if we go ahead and authorize a codes committee,
Comprehensive Plan Committee.
comprehensive plan committee, excuse me, then the town board itself as a body gets to choose these people.
Absolutely.
And nothing-
Choose or not choose.
Okay, and nothing, no monetary value, no money gets moved around?
It has nothing to do with budget. It has nothing to do with who's on the committee. It has nothing to do with anything but establishing a committee, as we just established the Farm and Agriculture Committee without any members. We have to first establish a committee.
Right.
Then who becomes the makeup of the committee and how the committee is going to work is for a later time. And that is also a town board decision.
Like hiring consultants and stuff?
Absolutely. That is all, those are all things that will be decided and voted on by the town board.
Okay, so basically what we want to do now is just establish...
We want to just establish a committee so that we can apply for our moratorium extension and we can begin to move ahead with planning and zoning amendments in the town of Stanford, which is really an urgent issue for all of us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
It's good.
All right.
Thank you.
So the motion is to,
We have a second.
the motion has